English, a global language. Over the centuries, English has grown from the language of a relatively small area, England, to a global idiom. According to some estimates, almost 1 billion people use English as a first or second language. This process has given birth to many varieties of English. Quite a feat. But how did that all happen? Let's see. The spread of English to other countries began with British colonialism from 1600 to 1900. That took the language to North America, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and to the countries of the British Empire, where English became mixed with the native languages. The political and economic importance of the British Empire and of the United States helped make English an international language. Today, it has become the language of technology and the main language of the Internet, of popular music and culture. English is also the main language in international business, science, diplomacy, aviation, sport, international competitions, and advertising. In short, it is the lingua franca of international communication. All of this makes people all over the world want to learn English to be able to function in the present-day global world. A French computer engineer even decided to invent a simplified form of English to make international communication easier. His language, Globish, has a simplified grammar and no idioms, and uses only 1,500 English words. He guarantees that this is enough to express just about anything. English has also contaminated other languages. This took place as the people of various countries started using English words within their own languages. This phenomenon has created many Englishes, or many mixtures of English and other languages throughout the world. Spanglish is an example. It's a fusion of Spanish and English. Chinglish, instead, is the incorporation of English words into Chinese. Then there's Italianish, a version of Italian heavily dependent on English words. Here are some examples. You might be a teenager and a millennial who likes to chattare, twittare, andare sui social, or downloadare music. One day you might have a part-time job, and at work you might have to schedulare un meeting with your manager to decide the company's mission. During the weekend, you might go jogging or camping, or you might go to the cinema to see a sequel or a B-movie. Or are you fashion and prefer to go shopping for something trendy?
Good day, Unionites. I am Joe.
And I am Camille.
And we welcome you to English Week 2020 Virtual Culmination event. Because here at Union College, the quest for learning and wisdom never stops, even in the time of the pandemic. We hope we go in the new normal.
And yes, that is why we are here today celebrating the English language. In fact, we dedicated this week for competitions such as
essay writing,
poetry writing,
slogan making,
storytelling,
spoken word poetry,
and our TikTok duet battle.
Winners for each competition shall be recognized and awarded later in the program.
And yes, we will get to see the winning entries, and I am excited for it.
I am excited as well, and so let us kick off the program with the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by the opening prayer.
Pambansang Awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, hewas ang silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa dagatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal, ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitindig. Luma ng araw ng walhating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
And now, let us hear the welcome remarks from the Administrator of Union College School of Integrated Preparatory Studies, Mr. John Carlos M. Alvarez.
These challenging times have demanded us to look for new opportunities and to explore wider horizons for ourselves and for the community as well. It is worth noting how language plays a vital role in communication, in socialization, in productive and progressive actions. This virtual ceremony and program marks the celebration of Union College of Laguna's English Week. Today, we appreciate the value of English as a mechanism of sharing hope that this pandemic will end, and as avenue to cope with the adversities of this global crisis. However, this is in no way asserting that English is a language far more superior than any other languages. It is just we are sharing the value of English as a way of reading and writing, of listening and speaking, that may help us towards the collective efforts in living as one. Our students have shown excellent skills as they join the different competitions for this occasion. With that, I congratulate the Union College of Laguna community. May we enjoy this virtual program, and may we continue in sharing not just the language that is English, but also the language of love. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.
Now let us welcome Mr. Rainier John Hermosa for the opening number.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through it playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and sleep. It's time to try. Defying gravity. I think I'll try
Our keynote speaker was born on the 5th of May 1985 in Victoria, Laguna to parents Apolinario de Leon and Soledad Quintela. He is the eldest of 3 children. He graduated valedictorian in elementary, with honors in high school, and with numerous awards in college, including Most Outstanding Journalist of Luzon, when he won all 3 of his contests in the Luzon-wide Higher Education Press Conference, with all the state universities and colleges of the Luzon region in attendance. He was also the silver medalist of the National Extemporaneous Speaking Contest of the 44th Rizal Youth Leadership Institute in 2006, as well as the national champion of the 31st YMCA National College Students Congress Essay Writing Contest. In 2004, he was the first to be hailed as champion of the Laguna English Speaking Contests, where he bested all the other universities and colleges in the province. His gift of command of the English language, while with a degree that is not really associated with the language, has indeed taken him places. Thanks to his gift in writing and speaking. Today, he is an instructor at the College of Hospitality and Management and Tourism of the Laguna State Polytechnic University, Los Baños campus, where he has been teaching for 13 years already, and was the advisor of the student publication for more than 5 years. In addition, he is also a certified trainer of TUV Reynolds, an organization that gives ISO 9001-2015 certifications for organizational excellence. He is also the editor-in-chief of the Presidential Media Affairs Office of the Laguna State Polytechnic University. Apart from these, he also immerses himself in a variety of personal and professional pursuits, such as coaching for Latin American dance sport, cheer and contemporary dancing, voice and performance teams in his concurrent capacity as coordinator for culture and arts of LSPU Los Baños. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Quintela de Leon.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone watching this closing program of the English Week celebration of the Union College of Laguna. Firstly, I wish to thank Mr. John Carlos Alvarez, Administrator of OCSIPS, and Mr. Jobo Añunuevo, Chairperson of the English Week celebration of the Union College of Laguna. The invitation to be keynote speaker for this event is both an honor and privilege, and is humbling and honoring in all aspects. I wish to thank the members of the organizing committee for having thought of me to be your keynote speaker for this event with the theme English, Language of Hoping and Coping in the New Normal. Such theme could not be more timely and relevant, especially that we are at the crux of change in the education sector, particularly in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is very challenging to push through with the continuation of the academic year 2020-2021 for this year. Because of the health hazards and safety restrictions, many are forced to conduct alternative modes of learning other than face-to-face, which has resulted to mixed reactions from all stakeholders in the education sector. Luckily for us, we were able to continue the delivery of learning to our stakeholders, as well as the conduct of activities like this, the celebration of the English Week, which highlights the important role of the English language in our society and in our lives in general. Having been exposed to the language for more than 20 years, since I have been speaking and writing in the English language since I was in elementary, I would say that a good command of the language invokes many sensibilities as well as gives us many advantages in many fields of life. A good command of the language allows you to convey and express your thoughts more effectively. It allows you to communicate with a wider range of people because English is written and spoken the world over. Having a good command of the language gives you an edge in many aspects of your life from learning up to employment. So I would say that while many people say that being able to speak English is a parameter of intelligence, I would choose to say that having the knowledge of writing and speaking in English effectively gives you an edge over others in many things and in many aspects of life. Primarily, the theme English, language of hoping and coping in the new normal could not be more timely and relevant, especially in this time that we are at the crossroad of changes and challenges in the education sector. Being a language that is understood and is used the world over, English plays a very important role in making sure that the message of learning is spread across cultures, generations, and various settings. I would like to believe so that in coping up with the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, we need a language that unifies, a language that solidifies, a language that helps us cope, and a language that helps us hope. Indeed, the English language gives all that and allows us to communicate properly with others, to dream properly with others, because we can be one in the language and we can be one in expressing our thoughts, ideals, and actions with the language. Having been given the chance to speak in front of you is another life-enriching experience for me, because I marvel at every opportunity that is given to me to share my knowledge and experiences in using the language to other people. I have been a constant of oratorical and declamation contests during my elementary and high school years. And when I moved into college, I had the privilege of working with the campus press, which opened my eyes to the wonderful world of journalism. When I entered the field of teaching, I was lucky and privileged enough to be given the chance to be a publication advisor, where I was given the chance to work with many talented student writers and journalists and be able to be exposed to many events that give us a chance to express our insights and opinions in a wider platform through use of the English language. 13 years after, in my stature as an instructor at the College of Hospitality Management and Tourism of the Laguna State Polytechnic University Los Baños campus, the use of English language inside the classroom and outside as well has given me an immense chance to speak to others, to influence others, to inspire others, which is why I am really happy that a focus on the English language has been given through this event and its role in helping us hope and cope amidst the life-threatening effects of the pandemic. One may ask, what role could a language play in hoping and coping? I say that a language could play a very important role in hoping and coping because a language unifies, and a language is the soul of any country. And the English language, while this may not be our native language, this is understood throughout the entire Philippines and has been used extensively in teaching subjects to our students. Therefore, I believe that the English language will really have an immense role in helping us hope and cope amidst the life-threatening effects of the pandemic. Again, I wish to thank the organizers of this program for having come up with an affair that underscores the importance of the English language in our lives in school and in our daily living. I thank you for inviting me to share my knowledge and experiences to our students, faculty, and staff. And I am hoping that all of you are safe inside your respective homes, and we await excitedly for the return of our classroom meetings once more. But as of now, as of the moment, let us revel in this newfound excitement in the new normal And let us use the English language to hope and cope for a brighter future in our learning inside and outside of the classroom as well. Thank you very much and have a nice day, everyone.
And now the time has come to announce the winners in each competition. Let's start with slogan making. Second place from the green team, Angelique Claudette Leonson. First place from the red team, Avril Piper Kenya. The next competition is poetry writing contest. Second place is from green team, Jacob Miguel Tobias. First place is from red team, Micaela Tiffany Bonta. For the essay writing contest, here are the winners. From the junior high school department, fourth place, purple team, Jassel Alexi Diaz. Third place, from the yellow team, John Derek Calcetas. Second place, from the green team, Sean Deep Taluar. And the first place, from the red team, Leona Desiree Felix.
For the senior high school category, we have here the purple team. For the third place, Miss Ashley Krishna Ramos. For second place, we have Miss Isley Goko from the green team. And for the first place, we have Christine Espasura from the red team.
And now for the college category. Second place for the purple team, Sarah May Aquino.
Yes, and the first place goes to green team, Mr. Mark Albert Halu.
And here are the winners in the storytelling competition, senior high school edition. Second place from the purple team, Winmer Abanilia. And first place from the green team, Ana Micaela de la Cruz.
A Dozen Pair of Shoes. Story by Luis P. Katmaitan. My father was a shoemaker. Shoes made by him were really famous in our town. A lot of people would come to us to have their shoes made. From what we heard, my father's shoes were so much better than the shoes made in Marikina. They were durable, the workmanship was really excellent, and their designs truly creative. Where on earth do you get your ideas for those styles? They're so pretty. Looks like the muse of shoes and soles comes and visits you. You must have magic in your hands. With all these praises, my father will only half smile. He was a quiet man. I grew up amidst all the many shoes my father made. My friends and classmates often wished they were in my shoes. They said I was lucky to have a shoemaker father. Why, I always had a new pair for every occasion. School opening, Christmas, my birthday, or when I was awarded class honors in school. My tatay even made me extra pair of shoes from leftover leather and fabric. I wish I were you, Karina. You always have new shoes. Me, I get hand-me-downs from my ate. I only wear the shoes that don't fit her anymore, complained one of my classmates. I was in 2nd grade when my mother became pregnant again. We had waited for so long to have another baby in the family. My lola said that their prayers for me to have a kid brother or sister had been answered. Oh, pretty soon I will have someone to share my shoes with. But that's okay. I know my father will do enough shoes for the both of us. When the baby was still in my mother's tummy, I heard my mother and father talking. I just had the checkup. The doctor said our baby is going to be a girl. That's great! If she's a girl, we'll have her take up ballet lessons. I'd really like to have a ballet dancer in the family. From now on, I am going to start learning how to make ballet shoes. But not all of my father's dreams could come true. When we saw my baby sister for the first time, we were all shocked. She had no feet. It was though her 2 feet had been cut off. The rumors began to spread because my baby sister was sort of deformed. People were saying a lot of things. Some said my mother tried to get rid of her, that's why her body parts were incomplete. Or my mother might have taken some harmful pills and those pills melted my sister's feet. Or the shoe spirits cursed my father because he raised the prices of his shoes. Or maybe my mother had an unusual liking for a doll while pregnant. Nanay, why doesn't Susie have feet? I had this infection, anak. I caught German measles while your sister was growing in my tummy. And well, the effect was that, my mother narrated. My sister will never be a ballet dancer then. Tatay will be very disappointed. I had this thought every day, every time I'd see Susie without her feet. That's why I decided to persuade Nanay to enroll me in a ballet school even if I didn't really like ballet. But, Ma'am, why don't you take piano instead? Maybe painting. Or enroll her in a bandurria class, my ballet teacher suggested. I felt let down, not for myself, but for my tatay and Susie, and for all the dreams that could never come true. I felt and I saw how my father and mother loved Susie. They were always ready to keep her from harm. Once a while, we were on a picnic at the park. There was this guy who saw Susie. Pointing at Susie, he said, "Hey, look, that kid will make a good freak at the show at the carnival." Ha ha ha. My father turned red. He clenched his fist. That was the first time I ever saw his eyebrows meet. He almost hit the guy. "What's your problem?" Good thing my mother stopped him just in time. While in bed one night, I heard tatay talking to Susie. "Anak, no feet or not, your nanay and I love you very much. You are special in God's eyes. What's important to us is that you grew up to be a good person believing in yourself." And he kissed him warmly. Father never stopped making shoes for me, but I could tell that each time he measured my feet, his eyes drifted towards my sister's crib. "Too bad, bunso. You will never know how it feels like to wear the beautiful shoes our tatay makes us," I whispered to Susie. Susie and I were really close as we grew up. It never mattered to me that she had no feet. That never stopped us from playing together. We found a lot of games that didn't need the use of feet anyway. She always beat me in songka, jackstone, Scrabble, and petik bulag. It took upon myself to be her defender from all teasers, her wheelchair pusher, her ate assistant. That's when I realized my sister and I were alike in so many ways. We're both better with our hands than with our feet. I was good at painting, and she was good in writing stories. And oh, our tatay was also good with his hands. Susie woke up to tell me about her dream, about a most unusual pair of shoes that looked good on her feet. She has feet in her dream? I wondered to myself. Believe me, ate, I dreamed of a beautiful pair of shoes. It's made of yellow patent leather adorned with a sunflower up front. That was when she was about to celebrate her birthday. What I noticed was, whenever her birthday was drawing near, she would always dream of shoes. Ate, I dreamed of another pair of shoes. It's made of red velvet with a big side buckle. She also told me about the open-toed blue shoes with her own toes peeping through, the white shoes with short heels and a red bow, the denim shoes embroidered with the moon and the stars, the sandals that looked like a fishnet, and the purple shoes with a round crystal attached near the toe. It never ceased to amaze me how could she remember even the tiniest detail of the shoes in her dream. The flowers, the ribbons, the buttons, sequins, beads, or buckles. Ate, when I grow up, I am going to write a story about all the shoes in my dreams. And you'll draw them for me, okay? Sure, bunso. After a few years, my father retired from making shoes. Except for the orders from Hisuki, he simply couldn't refuse. When he celebrated his birthday, my gift to him was one of my paintings, a pair of heavily veined hands making shoes. Susie gave him a small music box with the ballerina. You made your father very happy, Nanay said. Shortly after that, Tatay became sickly. Susie was 12 when Tatay left. One day, I happened to wander to the bodega, looking for old shoes that I could donate to the orphanage. While searching, I found a box that looked as though it hadn't been touched for some time. Opening it, I found several small shoe boxes nearly piled on top of each other. Who owns these shoes? Are they undelivered shoes? I asked myself. But when I looked closely at all the shoes, I startled. They were my father's best creations in wonderful designs. And they came in different sizes. There was a pair of baptismal shoes, baby shoes, leisure shoes, school shoes, church shoes, and party shoes. I was even more startled when I read the dedication written on a small tag. For my dearest Susie, on her first birthday. I peered inside the boxes one at a time. Every single pair of shoes was for Susie. My father had been making shoes for Susie all this time. For Susie, joy of my life, as she celebrates her 7th birthday. Year after year, my father never missed making a pair of shoes for Susie on her birthday. 12 shoes all in all, especially for my dearest bunso, on the occasion of her 12th birthday. I burst out crying when I saw the shoes. I hadn't realized till then how deep Tatay's love was. I brought the 12 pair of shoes to my mother and Susie. I had no idea that your father had been making shoes for you, Susie. Tears formed in my mother's eyes. He kept it a secret from me. Ate, these are the shoes I dreamed about. Susie couldn't believe her eyes as she caressed each shoe. Oh! Suddenly, I remembered all the shoes that Susie had described to me in the past. Yellow patent leather shoes with sunflower up front. Red velvet shoes with big side buckle. Blue open-toned shoes with her own toes peeping through. White shoes with short heels and a red bow. Denim shoes embroidered with the moon and the stars. Sandals that looked like a fishnet. And the purple shoes with a round crystal near the toe. In my mind, I thought, did my father's love cross over reaching out to Susie's dreams so she could wear the shoes he made for her? I am not sure. What I'm sure about is this. Life isn't perfect. Just look at the way my sister was created. But there are perfect moments, like the moments when my father created the most beautiful shoes for Susie.
And for our winners for the Spoken Word Poetry College edition, for the second place we have Francesca Gesa Galera from the Purple Team. And for the first place we have Miss Arina Bielina from the Yellow Team. Congratulations!
It all appears so simple, but splendidly cunning, that we have constantly be hunted through creatures so stunning. Not a prokaryote, neither is it a eukaryotic. A few near home, others plenty extra exotic. As we search around the globe, in our planes, trains and cars, as we chop down the timber to make our room for our yards, as we go much deep into earth and paved roads, viral darkish topics inch nearer through thousands. They are shakers and shapers of mankind's personal history. Preceding discovery, they have been colossal mystery. Killing of complete royal traces becomes smallpox the devil, whose jewels on eyes and lungs, definitely checking out our method, intriguing and puzzling those enigmatic beings all the time they've been with us. Understand that nicely a human being. Great classes and knowledge they have been to divulge. With technological know-how and research all of us may also indulge. And an eye contact, isn't that same with the eye contact? Yet we make do with Zoom and FaceTime and anything else there is. But nonetheless, we let live for what becomes after and what we used to be. I get to paintings from home because I even have a home, and lucky for that, I get to buy groceries 2 weeks really were worth at a time, because I even have a room and walls and kitchen cabinets, and I'm fortunate for the ones as nicely. Walking those unexperienced hills of full-on spring, plum blossoms and cherry, jasmine and wisteria, calla lilies, centaunos, and so many tangerines in the yard that even had a horde of mandarin squirrels can consume them all. One could really suspect the burgeoning loss of life and despair in the town below, the country, the world. And I won't forget that I can't forget, with that hopey, changey thing still step in each thread, and somehow I sense better. As if had itself had the power to deliver again at a time in our personal galaxy, in our personal country, where the character in charge, like different people, as plenty as he favored himself, or perhaps extra, and wherein that character loved his wife, and she cherished him proper again, and wherein they weren't afraid to reveal it, and wherein that character may want to sing all green and protect the Constitution at the identical time. And after I walk, I see the faces, preserving social distance, doing the dance. Yet they're nonetheless near sufficient to examine the hat, and I suppose they're feeling what I'm feeling, that perhaps they are days ahead, as good or maybe better than the ones we left behind, at least for one who survived to look after them.
And now the winners in the Quarant TikTok battle. Second place, Green Team, Micaela San Juan and Nicole Ann Ponteros. First place, from the Purple Team, Maria Micaela Fernandez and Maika Marie Fernandez.
slept in one world, woke up into another. Suddenly, we realized that Paris is no longer romantic. Disney has no more magic, while hugs and kisses became weapons. Why is everything so uncertain in this world? I don't know. No one will ever know. But I do know one thing. That we don't need to focus on the uncertainties and enjoy our life when we have one. This situation has taught us that everything in our lives used to revolve around is so temporary. Work, gyms, malls, movies has all gone for a toss as we are finally learning to live without them. It has taught us that it's our own home and family that keeps us safe. We can finally learn the fact that it's not how we spend our time, but who we spend it with. It's like the universe is giving us an opportunity to live. Now, I don't know when this will end. No one does. But I do know one thing, that it will end one day. We can either spread fear or be the light in the darkness that everyone wants to see.
And now, to give us the closing remarks, let us all welcome the Executive Assistant to the Chairman of the Board, the Director of Placement and Services and Alumni of Union College of Laguna, Ms. Bolixima F. Adorado.
To all the students, parents, and faculty of Union College of Laguna, good day to all of you. Today, we are celebrating English Week with virtual activity, and even we are facing pandemic, Unionites are unshakable doing some co-curricular activities to showcase their talents and skills. I believe that all of you have well done through the 5 days English Week. It is my great pleasure that you have fruitful activities, though I think 5 days is not enough. In this year's English Week, the main theme was language, coping, and coping in the new normal. I wanted you to understand the importance of this and promote mutual understanding among the participants through the activities. I observed your excellent presentations and active discussions so I can conclude that the purpose of this English Week has been completely accomplished. In addition, your positive manners reveal that you have made careful preparations and great effort for your participation. We are now expanding the new normal through virtual activities and online communication for us to continue achieving the heights of education. Finally, in behalf of the Union College of Laguna, I would like to pay my deep respect to all the participants for your positive participation in these activities. Mr. Giovanni Nievo, the English Club Advisor, to his committee, Ms. Camille Gamas, and all Color Teams advisors, thank you very much for making this activity a successful one. I would like to close my remarks and officially announce the end of the English Week celebration. God bless to all and thank you.
But take the time to cut them off, I need her. I know how to make the girl go crazy. When you treat her like your number one baby. Take the time to cut them off, I need her. I know how to make the girl go crazy. When you treat her like your number one baby.
Thank you for joining us in this virtual culminating event for the English Week 2020. Please stay home, keep safe, and keep sane. This has been Mr. Jobo Anuevo.
This has been Miss Camille Gamas. We hope
We hope in the new normal.